Hi YouTube. So this is Megan with the Pagan Perspective. This is Subs Week, and today's question, actually, I'm going to read it for you here. It's actually two questions in one. Actually, probably more than two questions. So let me just read it for you, and I'll explain it. So the question comes from Filth Crow. Hopefully that's spelled right. So the first question is, what are the best online communities right now? When I used to practice, internet wasn't exactly like it is now, and I never really bothered looking. I've only found a few forums, and they're not very active. I'm just surprised that a solid and active community forum site isn't more obvious to find. So to answer that question, I'm probably not the most knowledgeable on this one because I don't use online forums a lot particularly. I'm really active in my local pagan community, and for me, I really enjoy the face-to-face. However, YouTube has been one of the biggest communities that I've found, and it's why I began my channel, and it's why I've reached out to the YouTube community. When I tried to get on things like Witchvox and even Pagan Singles, it was okay, but there's just very few and far between, and it's not very active. I find that there's some Yahoo groups that are pretty active. When I lived out in California, I was involved with a Yahoo group, and it was mainly just to get us the information, and then we'd then have meetings. So again, it was something that you were doing in person, face to face, and we just used the Yahoo group to communicate with each other. Now we use Facebook. My local pagan community, we use Facebook and we really like it. So we have an email mailing list for some things and then Facebook for others. And it really works well. I find that my local occult shop in my area, that's Muse, which is an amazing store, which we'll talk about in a second. But, you know, what's nice about it is you get to meet up face-to-face with people and have that interaction, which I think can be really lacking in the community, and especially with pagans being so separated and, you know, being from different areas of the country, it's harder to get in touch with people. So I understand that the online community is really important, and I hope that some of the other subs maybe are a little bit more active online than I am and can give you some better tools. I really think YouTube for me has been the strongest pagan community I've found online. So I definitely recommend, though, checking out some of the other ones if you want to try and make it more popular, like Witchvox and things like that. But I highly recommend seeking out your local community. You'd be surprised how many Pagan Pride events there are around the country, and they're always looking for volunteers. So it's a good way to get to know people, and, you know, maybe you'll start a meetup group, and you'll meet maybe once a week or once a month or something. And it's not for coven things. So I want to make that distinction that when I meet up with people, I'm not always doing a ritual. Yes, sometimes I do meet up for ritual with my pagan community, but for the most part, I'm meeting up for just fun events and for social things. And so that's really wonderful. Actually, a group of my friends, we decided, because we're all artists in some way or another, some are musicians, some make textiles like clothing and jewelry, and me, I do henna. So we decided that we were going to start our own festival, our own pagan festival. So we actually run a festival called the Magical Marketplace. So we run that here in New England, and it's really fun, and we're involved with the Temple of Witchcraft. They're friends of ours. So they come and they bring the support of the temple, and they hang out with us. And it's just a wonderful community event. So we also have some other ones around my area. Muse is one of, Pinnacle Press is one of the ones who sponsors it, but it celebrates Samhain. I do henna for that event, and it's our local event, and it's really wonderful. And we do a ritual afterwards at the end, and it's just something that really can bring the community together, especially when we're such a small community. It's important for us to make friends and to reach out. So I guess that's sort of my take on it, is that I don't use online communities very much other than YouTube, because I really like to be in person. So that's sort of my best answer for that one. And so the second one is, number 2 is, my ultimate goal is to open a ritual tool shop. It will have ritual items for every path. I want to carry pentacles right next to crucifixes, right next to a deck of tarot, right next to some rosary beads, etc., etc. My question is, what is it that is usually lacking in mystical shops most commonly? My local shop acts as if capitalism belongs in the broom closet and just sort of skirts on the edges of witchcraft items. Why do you think it is most likely the cause for this? Am I missing something, or are people just not doing it right? Okay, so a lot of questions in there. And I think it's wonderful that you want to open a ritual tools shop that caters to every path. I think it'll be an interesting venture for you. I think you're going to have a hard time with certain things. And the reason I say this is because I've been exposed to a lot of occult shops. I've lived in a lot of places, but also I did my undergrad at Salem State College in Salem, Massachusetts. So I lived there for 4 years. And, you know, Salem is one of the places where there's probably the highest concentration of pagan occult shops in the country. It's just on every corner there's another occult shop. And there's a high level of tourism, absolutely, but it is, you know, straight up occult shops there. So one thing that I have noticed, and through my travels, is that occult shops and what I like to call Christian shops, which is what you're talking about for crucifixes and rosary beads and things like that. The problem is Christians, or at least in general, the ones that I've met, are not a huge fan of going into occult shops. And so you might have, this is just my 2 cents, you might have a hard time selling both occult pagan items next to ritual tools for Christianity. So it's just something to think about. It doesn't mean it can't work. Sounds like you're the type of person who could make it work. I just know that it's definitely something that I have been very aware of when I see, you know, Christian specialty shops and occult shops. They generally don't mesh very well. So that being said, pagan shops, however, can be a total conglomeration of different things, from, you know, just new age, yogis, hippie, Gaia, Santeria, hoodoo, you know, all the way to straight up Wicca. So that type of shop would be really, really welcome. So I think that the problem that you're seeing is probably that you have a local small town occult shop. I wouldn't say that the idea of capitalism is out for all occult shops, though. Salem is all about capitalism. And my local occult shop, which is Muse, it's wonderful. It is an amazing shop, and they take it very seriously that it's a business. At the same time, they also cater to the population. You know, I think that what's special about local small occult shops is the personal attention that you get. And I think that's really special and important. And I wouldn't want to do away with that. So at the same time, though, I understand the need for there to be, you know, this idea that we need to make money. And that's the whole point of it. I'm a henna artist. I do festivals and fairs. And yes, I mean, the point is to make money. I do it, though, because I love it. But yes, I do want to be able to pay some bills with this. So I think that in the end, what you're probably finding is that whoever is doing this local occult shop that you're talking about is probably not doing it just for our population. I have another shop nearby in another town that is much more new agey, very Eastern mythologies, Eastern religions. So it has a real blending of a lot of Hindu and Buddhism. but it really skirts the edges of serious witchcraft. And I think that that's something that you find a lot in places that are trying to appeal to a broader market. So I think that, you know, you really have to decide what it is that you want to do and then make it happen. I think it's wonderful that that's your goal. I would love to own a shop at some point. It's a lot of work, though. It's a lot of work, and it's not a great economy. And let's, you know, cut to the chase. The economy is not good, particularly for small businesses. Around my town, small businesses are closing left and right. So the mom and pop shops, you know, they're falling by the wayside. You really need to be able to market yourself well. And one of the things to do that is kind of goes back to your other question, is this online community stuff. It's great, and it's a wonderful way to get some PR, but really you need to network with the people in your community. You need to be a face. One of the things that Muse in my area does so well is that they hold workshops. Almost every week they have some other workshop, whether it's tarot readings or classes, events. Try to bring in as many people as you can. Try and open up to the community. And once you can do that and once you can network, then you're going to get more people coming in than just the pagan community. You know, you get people coming in who might want to find something nice for, you know, for a family member or something, and or might want to learn and branch out and start, you know, becoming part of the pagan community. So I think that that's a great idea. I really, though, suggest, you know, branching out, get to know your community, and, you know, get involved. It's not easy. And if you need to be in the broom closet for work or for family, it can be really hard. And so I'm not saying that this is even possible, but ideally, if you can make those network connections, you know, I think you can really go far. You have to work hard, though. It's definitely something that you have to put a lot of effort in, and it's way more effort than you're going to get back in money. You know, you have to do it because you love it, and hopefully you'll make just enough to cover bills and a little bit extra. So yeah, thank you so much, Pagan Perspective, and we've got the rest of the subs coming up this week. So thank you so much for watching. My personal channel, Sabirasri, is below, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. We've actually been getting better weather up here, so hopefully spring is right around the corner, and we'll have some warm weather. That'll be great. And you want to say bye? Come here. So Bebe wants to say goodbye. So say goodbye, Bebe. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Blessed be.